PKR would like to alert the public that the Inland Revenue Board amendments is definitely to be tabled again in this coming session of Parliament. We know this because the government has issued their order of proceedings, and at the very top is the Inland Revenue Board amendments that they tried to push through back in June. Yeah? So earlier in June 2014, the Finance Minister tabled this amendment to the IRB Act of 1995 with the intention to create an investment panel in the IRB with the potential to invest an unlimited amount of money on anything under the sky, essentially equities, debt, and properties. Yeah? We know it's unlimited because the Act actually under Section 23 says that the IRB can take on debts, they can receive lawfully money from the minister with no limit. Okay? So historically, we looked at IRB and we know that they have a relatively small fund, the size of 250 million a year, in which all this money, if you look at the IRB annual report, all this money is put inside fixed deposit. They don't invest in speculative issues. They don't invest in property. They don't do anything unusual. Yeah? Now, we know also that the IRB has collected 140 billion this year, or is targeted to collect 140 billion this year. So we're afraid that if the amendment is passed through, the minister will have unfettered powers to increase the size of the IRB fund. Therefore, they could possibly dip into the 140 billion reserves collection from tax every year. Now, this is the problem. In June, when we debated in Parliament, we raised this issue with the help of the media. We managed to convince the government to retract the amendment. And they said that they're going to go back and remove and change minor changes to the amendments. In particular, they were quoted as saying that they will ask the bank governor not to be part of the investment panel, right? That was in June. Now, what we know is this legislation is obviously very important because of the investment panel issue, right? And now we are being told that it's going to be tabled again, but we haven't seen the amendments yet. The changed amendments haven't arrived yet, yeah? So this is completely unbecoming of good government, right? The governance is horrendous. The practice of parliamentary democracy is to at least to give the lawmakers an opportunity to look at the document before we go on Tuesday next week and suddenly we see it for the first time. Because we want to put pressure, there's only today and Friday left. Yeah? The Prime Minister must release the draft amendment by today, latest Friday, so that when we start Parliament on Tuesday, because Monday is a public holiday, on Tuesday, nobody is just caught and say, wow, we're supposed to debate this now? How are we going to deal with this issue? You know, there's no time for us to do any research to the amendments. Yeah? So the Prime Minister must release today or tomorrow, latest. And I urge all the members of Parliament from both sides to be extra vigilant because this is Inland Revenue Board's money. This is our money, all the taxpayers. You can't get more direct connection between taxpayers' money than this particular legislation. This is the problem with the parliamentary democracy that is practiced in Malaysia. It's substandard. You know, when we see YB Surendran, I should have called him to come here. YB Surendran's position all along, and with all the other members of Parliament, is to get ample notice before a bill is passed. Yeah? That is a basic thing you can do, you must do as a government, a responsible government. You tak boleh simpan last minute bagi orang. Undang-undang ni kena debate dengan penuh. Maknanya kita perlukan masa untuk buat analisa dia. You know, it cannot be just allowed to just steamroll through like that. Yeah? So this parliamentary practice is dishonorable and is a disgrace to parliamentary democracy in Malaysia.
Assuming the ministry doesn't release it, what then?
If it doesn't release it, we will only see it on Tuesday. You know? And then, what do? We are supposed to take questions in the morning session until 11:30, and from 11:30 we are supposed to start debating this issue. Come on, seriously, you know, this cannot be allowed to happen. This practice is just disgraceful.